Hello everyone. For this year in paper 4 we are going to study spermatophyta and paleobotany, in which for part Gymnosperms we are going to study general introduction of Gymnosperms, their characters, economic importance and classification given by the Chamberlin in 1934. Along with this, life cycle of Pinus and Netum we are going to study in detail with respect to morphology, anatomy, reproduction, gametophyte, sporophyte, seed structure as well as the alternation of generation. Then first question comes in your mind that what are Gymnosperms? This word is combination of two terminologies. Gymnos means naked and sperma means seed. These are seed bearing vascular plants and they do not bear the flowers. These are also known as the phenograms without ovary, and they originated in Paleozoic era and they dominant over earth in during Jurassic and Cretaceous period of Mesozoic era. In world there are 70 genera and 725 species of Gymnosperms are live. Then we go for their general characters, as Gymnosperms are evergreen trees or sometimes shrubs with xerophytic adaptation. And what are these xerophytic adaptation? You might have studied in SYBSc xerophytic adaptations, that they are with thick cuticle and sunken stomata, sunken that is deeply placed stomata, and the plant body is sporophytic, differentiated into root, stem as well as the leaves. Along with this, they are with well developed taproot system. They also shows symbiotic relationship with algae. For example, in cycas there are coralloid roots and they are with algal symbiotic relationship, while in Pinus there are mycorrhizal roots, there is association of fungi. Then there are two types of woods have been observed in Gymnosperm. One is monoxylic, it means soft and porous with large cortex pith which is wide, and another wood type that is pycnoxylic, where they are with dense as well as the compact wood with small xylem rays, reduced pith and cortex. They are with the erect stem, sometimes they are branched or woody, and in Zamia there is exception, that is it is tuberous. They also shows the presence of leaf scars, and the leaves are dimorphic in nature. First is scaly leaves that are minute and deciduous, while foliage leaves are green, simple, and they are pinnately compound. Embryo development is meroblastic, where embryo develops only from basal part of a zygote, not whole zygote. And in Gymnosperm many of the times polyembryony results. Poly means many, so there is development of several embryos in female gametophyte, but only one embryo attains its maturity, means though there are number of embryos, seed form is only one. They are heterosporous in nature. When reproductive structure we are going to study in detail with respect to Pinus and Netum. Heterosporous, hetero means different, so there are two types of spores are observed in Gymnosperm. First, it is a megasporophyll, which encompasses megaspore or ovule, and another there is microsporophyll, which is with microspores. And pollination is most of the times by wind, whereas fertilization is siphonogamic, that is by means of a pollen tube. And these naked ovules develops into seed in one or two, and this is in case of Cycas, whereas many seeds observed in Pinus because there is a polyembryony. Seeds has a short as well as a long dormant period and germinates into new generation, that is a sporophytic generation with sporophytic body. And this seed is with three phases, that is integument and nucellus, second endosperm, and third that is embryo. And there is a distinct alternation of generation. Alternation means there is sporophytic dominant generation that alternated by haploid gametophytic reduced generation, means sporophyte followed by the gametophytic generation, but there is a sporophytic generation is dominant. Now another part, there is a classification of Gymnosperm, and this is number of scientists have given the classification, but Chamberlin in 1934 given the classification where Gymnosperms are classified into two major classes. First, that is cycadophyta, and another that is a coniferophyta. These classes are further divided into the orders. So this is a flow diagram which gives you idea in detail about the classification of Gymnosperm, where there are two main classes. First one, that is a cycadophyta, and another that is a coniferophyta. This cycadophyta is again divided into three orders, that is cycadophylicales, cycadiodales and cycadales, whereas coniferophytes divided into the four orders: chordatails, gingoales, coniferales and the netales. Moving to ahead, first class, that is cycadophyta. So these cycadophytes includes both fossil as well as the living forms, and they are with unbranched stem, leaves with large and pinnately compound nature, male cones large and compact with simple microsporophyll, whereas female cones are loosely packed. Megasporophyll is simple, but ovules are comparatively large. This stem anatomically it is with wide cortex, and as we have studied, two types of woods were there, monozylic and the pycnozylic, means they are with soft as well as the hard nature. So here that is a monozylic wood nature. Now this cycadophyta is divided into the three orders, and these three orders we are going to study in detail side by side. First order, that is cycadophylicales. So these are also known as the cycad ferns. Here the fossil form of the cycadophylicales is Gymnosperms oldhamia. They are also known as the Gymnosperms or the seed ferns. Most of them are fossils or extinct form. They appeared in Devonian period and abundant in Carboniferous period. These cycadophylicales are similar in the morphology and anatomy with ferns, and these cones are not produced in cycadophylicales, whereas ovules are born on the tip of the leaves. And here the one example is given, that is Gymnosperms, that is fossil form of a cycadophylicales order. Then the next order, that is cycadioidales. Previously they are known as the Benetitles. They are also the extinct group of primitive gymnosperms. So here one diagram is there, that is cycadioidea with its strobulus. They appear in Triassic period and common gymnosperms of Mesozoic area. They extinct in Cretaceous period, and plant body resembles with the living cycads. So nowadays the living, that is cycas, is there. So you can observe here the similarity with the cycas ovules. They are with stout as well as the slender stem, and these reproductive structure are flower like. Cones are monosporangiate, or sometimes they are bisporangiate. And there are cycadioidea and Williamsonia. These are the fossil gymnosperms, or example of order cycadioidales. And the third order, that is cycadales. These are the present day cycadophyta members, and most of the names are xerophytic. Plant body is palm like, and most of the time gymnosperms are slow growing in nature, and these are with specific character of that slow growing nature. Stem is stout, branched, and covered with persistent leaf scars. This is the characteristic feature of the gymnosperm, and again order cycadales. Leaves are pinnately compound and arranged in terminal crown. All cycads are dioecious. Dioecious means male and female plants are separate. Here in these diagrams or pictures you can observe, that is, these are the male cones of the cycas, and these are the female cones that are with these ovules, and this is the habit of this cycas. Ovules are anatropous, and number of examples are there, in which Williamsonia is a fossil form, and the cycas, zamia and dune are the living forms of this cycadales order. Then moving to the next class, that is coniferophyta. Up to this we have studied class first, in which three orders we have studied. This is the class second with coniferophyta, where they are with large and profusely branched tree forms and plant with cone-like appearance. Leaves simple. Anatomically pith is very small, whereas xylem is dense and wood is pycnoxylic. Okay, again there's these two types of wood we have studied in general characters of gymnosperm. I'm not going in detail of that. Male and female strobili are compact, and also they contains complex sporophylls. This coniferophyta class is further divided into the four orders like chordateles, the gingoels, coniferales and the needles. We are going in detail one by one. First, that is chordateles. These are early conifers. Okay, here the two fossils and their reconstruction diagram is given here, and they appear in the Carboniferous period, but all are extinct. No living form is there from the order chordateles. They are tall trees with star-shaped leaves. Here you can observe this star-shaped nature of the leaves, and reproductive structures are aggregate and appear like catkin-like clusters. Chordates and the mesoxylon are the some examples from the order chordateles. Then next order from class second is gingoels. It contains only extinct genus, and that is Ginkgo biloba. This is a living fossil and called commonly as a maidenhair tree. And this plant is worshipped in China like our tulsi plant in India, and this is endemic to the China. One specimen is there, one living plant is there in our Shivaji University campus. Leaves are broad. Here you can observe they are bilobed. Here you can observe these two lobes, and again with dichotomous veining nature, and these are the seeds, and this is the plant with their seeds. Ginkgo biloba, living fossil from the order Ginkgoales. And the second order, that is coniferals. Coniferals are mostly evergreen trees, and they represent largest order of gymnosperm with living forms. And well-known example is pinus or pine forest in North India. There are a number of pine forests that encompasses the number of plants of the pinus. Also, they show the xerophytic adaptations, and leaves are needle-like and spirally arranged. Here the leaves are there. You can observe these are the needle-like leaves and their spiral arrangement, and wood with large number of resin canals. Plants sometimes they are monoecious or dioecious, and we know that the gymnosperms are most of the times pollinated by the wind. Here this is pinus leaves, and they are with the male cone as well as the female cones, and some examples in which pinus and taxus are members from the coniferals. Then the fourth order, nettles, is with shrubs or woody climbers. Again, this nettles order, it is again known as the connecting link between the gymnosperms and the angiosperms, because morphologically they resembles with the angiosperm, and leaves are oppositely arranged. They are the only gymnosperm having wood with vessels. As we know, gymnosperms are primitive than the angiosperms. So this order is most evolved order from the gymnosperm. So they are with vessels, and embryo is with two cotyledons. And resin canals are absent in the wood. And as I said, this is the connecting link. Here Netum is a woody climber in Amboli, Azra area. These are common woody climbers, and in nature these are the diagrams that are the matured ovules, and these are the small immature, means male cones are there, and these are the female cones. So you can observe here they are with nodes as well as the internodes, and here we can observe the naked ovules. So this nature of the male cone and the female cone is most of the times given or considered as a male inflorescence and the female inflorescence, as this inflorescence term we are using for the angiosperm and not for the gymnosperms. So it is interesting to observe the netum in their habitat, wild habitat. So in nature we can observe the netum as they are woody climber. We cannot identify directly woody climber, but in nature when the leaves matured and they fall on the ground, they become black or dark brown in color, and we can in field we can observe these netum by their black or brown leaves. So this is all about gymnosperms, general characters and classification of gymnosperm given by the Chamberlin, in which the gymnosperm are classified into the two class, and further the classes divided into the different orders. In next lecture we go for economic importance of the gymnosperms. Thank you.